to the Ungovernables, the Captain Screw, the LFA family, McGroy Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. If you're watching on X, I don't know how. I think the platform just went down. But we started off the week with some issues on Rumble. Now the platform is down over on X. That's why, we're in a couple different spots, just in case. Maybe Elon Musk should focus more on keeping his social media platform up instead of fighting with Trump every waking second of the day. Might be a good idea, but I don't know. Who am I to tell him how to do things? We just, happen to be paying customers for a social media platform that can't stay off the ground. But that's all right. It'll get back up and running at some point. We know. I see some people are finding a way into the stream from X, so that's good. We're ready to rock and roll. Obviously, the big, beautiful bill has passed the Senate. It's heading back to the House. What does that mean for spending cuts? What does that mean for the bill itself? Is the bill going to be passed before July 4th? There's conflicting reporting. Do they have the votes? Do they not have the votes? We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Scott Jennings opined on that as well. And there was a question about illegal aliens and Medicaid yesterday, which I don't know if there's even a straight answer to yet. But we can give you some insight from a Republican senator, Eric Schmitt, and it may ease your concerns, and it may ease your I don't want to say pain, but it may calm you down a little bit. I know there's a lot of, I don't want to say misinformation, but information that may not be completely and totally accurate or lacks sufficient context. So, of course, we want to make sure that we give you that so that we're putting out the right stuff. We have that with the big, beautiful bill. I've got even CNN, and it's not Scott Jennings, praising the job that Donald Trump has done, praising the performance that Donald Trump has done thus far in his first 5.5 months in office. We also have, I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday. I am going to, we have to do it. I didn't want to do it, but we have to do it. And I know people get uppity with it. Oh my gosh, it's division. Oh my goodness. Why do you keep talking about Candace Owens? Because until 100% of the people that I talk to admit that this woman is a fraud and an insane person, we're going to keep doing it. Okay? We're going to keep doing it. I don't know how many comments I keep getting on some social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's X. And they're like, no, you know what you're talking about. Candace is right all the time. Oh, she's right all the time. Did you know that the war in Ukraine is not actually, the war in Ukraine is not happening because, Russia took over Ukraine or that there's a biolab thing going on or that, that Russia wants Ukraine back inside the borders of Russia or anything. It's because of Candace Owens. Did you guys know that? Did anybody get that memo? I didn't know that until yesterday. When I saw a clip going around that it's actually the war is being fought because of Candace. Is if you didn't know, Candace Owens is actually the center of the universe. Everything revolves around Candace Owens, of course, in her own mind. So for anybody who wants to continue to say, oh, you should stop criticizing Candace. No, you should listen to the things that she's saying and go, oh my gosh, I should stop listening to Candace Owens because this woman has lost her ever-loving mind. She has lost her ever-loving mind. Now, before we get to that, I have to show you something that happened yesterday. Before we get to that, because this is fun stuff, I don't think it's going to make anybody upset, but it may surprise some people. But I'm going to put it on the screen for you yesterday. I had fun with it. Before we get to that, hey, I've got a message from OFP Farms, folks. OFPfarms.com. You know all about them. They are our good friends over there in Northern California, and they are telling you to break out that holiday cheer. OFP Farms is decking the Star-Spangled Halls with their Christmas in July sale. If you use the code Sean, you save 35% while roasting chestnuts on a beach bonfire. As the sun sizzles, revel in the joy of the not quite season with naturally fabulous goat milk and tallow products. Look, it gets even better than that. As you can tell, my throat hurts this morning. Allergies have been an absolute disaster last couple days. But I've got a message directly from the farm itself. Take a look.
Hey, y'all. Celebrate Christmas in July with a sale from OFP Farms. Goat milk soap so creamy you'd think the goats were bottling pure American spirit. Even Uncle Sam can't help but tip his hat at the scent of freedom. Don't wait. Deck your star-spangled halls now with 35% off. Stock up on our rich patriotic goat milk soaps, lotions, and lip balms. Or treat someone special with one of our famous gift sets. Because this sale ensures that you'll be sparkling brighter than the fireworks on the 4th. So, saddle up and treat yourself to a sudsy salute to the red, white, and bleak. Visit OFP Farms, where every wash is a celebration of American grit and goat glamour. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. That's right. You little goat at the end. I love it. OFPFarms.com. Promo code Sean, SHAWN, for 35%. It does sound like Sam Elliott. 35% off. OFPFarms.com, promo code Sean. Christmas in July. Merry July Christmas to all of you. OFP, who do they think they are? Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela celebrating Christmas in a month that's not December. Remember him?
You know who else does that?
Who?
QVC.
QVC?
Christmas in July.
Oh, boy.
Is
that where that came from?
I used to fall asleep when I was little.
QVC.
Listening to QVC.
Yeah. I mean, I used to fall asleep to it, too, but not because I liked it. I used to fall asleep to KVC, too, because... Look at this turquoise ring we have on the screen. Look at this thing. Wow, look at this handmade napkin that we can sell you. Come on now. KVC. QVC.
You can't even say it.
Yeah, I don't. That's how much I don't like the channel. But it was one of those things where unless Billy Mays showed up on QVC with like, this is OxyClean, or Vince Offer with Slap Chop. Hey, it's Vince with Slap Chop. You're gonna love my nuts. All right.
Yes.
Then I would be sleeping with QVC. But anyway, Christmas in July. OFPFarms.com, promo code Sean for 35% off. Something happened to me yesterday, and it was a good thing. How many of you guys in the chat have ever been polled in a political poll before? I can't wait to do this. This is going to be so fun. All right. How many people in the chat have you ever been polled before? I have, on several occasions, been polled, especially over the last couple of years. Since 2022, I've been polled rather frequently, by the way. That's why I like to dive into the polls, because I've been polled. Right, by several pollsters. This is some fun stuff. I was polled yesterday. Right? A lot of people are saying never polled, which is interesting. And I believe it, because these polls, they usually only collect sample sizes of about 1,000 people. So you got to be on like their hit list, right? So apparently I'm on the pollsters' hit list. And I got polled yesterday. And this was the poll that Audrey's been polled, by the way. It was a text that said, we're a public opinion survey, blah, 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 blah. Here's one of the poll questions you can see. Do you support or oppose deporting all immigrants living in the United States illegally back to their home countries? And of course, you can see what answer I highlighted there. So you can see that was the first question. I was polled. I was so excited. It took about 5 minutes, but I was so excited to do this one. Another one that came up was this one. On a scale of 0 to 100, where 0 means you feel very cold or unfavorable, 50 means you feel neutral, and 100 means you feel very warm or favorable. How do you feel about the following individuals? AOC, I gave her a 0. Donald Trump, I gave her 100. Bernie Sanders, hello, how dare you give me a 0? Everybody on the survey should have gotten a 50. Equity for all. I gave him a 0. And then J.D. Vance got 100. So, I mean, what do you think? Did I answer this question correctly? Everybody in the chat? Yeah. Did I do well? Verdict in the Diddy trial is about to be read. I guess we will, I'm not going to go to it. I think we'll just, I don't know. Like, I hate to say it because it is news, right? I don't necessarily know where to find it, nor do I know how long this is going to work. But we'll For those of you who find the verdict, feel free to post. I hate to say it because it sounds like I don't care about the issue, and I do care about the issue. But like, I don't care about this case, like at all. I do care if people were sex trafficked, right? And I do want him to be held accountable if he did the things and is found guilty of doing the things that they say that he did. But like, I haven't been following it at all. Same with the Karen Reed case, you know, the whole thing where she was framed. I was like, I don't know. Does it sound bad? I don't care about Diddy. That's it. But, well,
that's more pop culture. And
it is, and I hate pop culture.
Yeah.
You know what? But I'm not saying that I don't care in that. So like, it's weird. It's not my focus. Like, that's not, to me, that's not politics. That's where my focus is. However, it's still important. So I'll keep a page refreshed, and we'll see. I know that the jury was stuck on a couple of counts yesterday, from what I understood. And we'll just keep an eye on what that Diddy final verdict is. There's a 90% chance, I think it was on Polymarket, that he was going to be found guilty of sex trafficking. So if Polymarket is any indicator, we will see. Yeah, I don't. It's not that I don't care or I think less of anybody who does care about the Diddy case. It is an important case. It is a high-profile case. I'm just not. I'm focused on the bill and the war and all this. Now, I hope that we found. I hope that we find the verdict soon. And if he did the things that he did, he is held sufficiently accountable for it. And by the way, if he does go to jail, I'll laugh because I don't like him, and I've never liked him. So there's that. Okay. So we've got a lot to get. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. We got a lot to get to today. Before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends at My Patriot Supply. I just wanted to show you my poll results. Everyone in the chat said that I had passed with flying colors, which is good. All right. Obviously 0 for Bernie, 100 for J.D. Vance, 100 for Donald Trump, 0 for AOC. Equity for all. Medicare for all. Healthcare for all. Also, Independence Day for all. Ladies and gentlemen, it is mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. No, I don't have to be focused on Diddy because he's similar to Epstein. We don't know if he's similar to Epstein. And I don't think there were any politicians that were blackmailed by Diddy and that were used as evidence in this. That's why I don't care about the Diddy case. I don't like him. I don't like giving him attention. MyPatriotSupply.com/ungoverned. Look, the headlines are getting crazier by the minute. We've got an unstable situation in the Middle East, reports of sleeper cells here in the United States, and the looming threat of nuclear proliferation. Nobody knows what's coming next. But one thing is certainly clear. When a crisis hits, it's too late to prepare. That's why you're supposed to get prepared for the crisis, so that when the crisis hits, you're not caught with your pants down scrambling for food and resources, right? That's why I want you to talk about the Independence. That's why I want you to take a look at the Independence Day Preparedness Bundle from My Patriot Supply. It is including a massive one-year emergency food supply, and right now they are throwing in over $1,200 in free survival gear right along with it. Talking about a full year of food, solar backup power, water filtration, everything that you need to ride out whatever may be coming with lightning-fast free shipping. Check it out now at mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. That is mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Again, you get a year free of, not a year free, sorry, a year full of food supply, okay? A year's long food supply from mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned in the Independence Day bundle. This food supply has a 25-year shelf life. 25 years. So whether you get it now and the crisis happens in 5 months, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years down the road, 15 years down the road, that food supply that you purchased in 2025 from mypatriotsupply.com is still good to go for that entire year. 25-year shelf life. It's an amazing deal. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. That's mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Holy moly. Yeah, I'm thinking of the victims. Again, I'm not saying it's not an important case. I'm not focused on it. I'm sorry. I feel for the victims, and I'm sure there are more victims than are being used as evidence in the Diddy case. I just didn't follow it. I've been following the war and a lot of the political happenings, and To me, the Diddy case isn't a political happening. However, if we get the verdict today, we'll talk about it. I've got a page open that should be that should refresh and give us updates on Diddy's verdict. And again, I don't think his chances are good in this case.
It doesn't affect our day-to-day life like
Definitely
politics
doesn't.
does. It's
Definitely
an interesting thing to keep up with if
Right.
you care about pop culture and stuff like that, but it's like not our number one thing to worry about.
Yeah, one of those things too, like if Diddy is guilty or not guilty doesn't affect my tax rate.
Right.
But if the big beautiful bill passes or fails, it does affect our
Right.
tax rate. So that's where my focus is. But again, I care about the verdict. I haven't even been following the case. I don't even know any of the testimony.
I honestly don't know much either.
I have nothing. I know nothing about the case. Okay. Let's go to. I want to go to Michael Smerconish. Has anybody ever heard of this guy on CNN? Michael Smerconish. Now, he's from Pennsylvania, or I think he grew up there. He may live there still, but I'm not sure. KAO Osborne says Diddy has been guilty. Is that official? Guilty on all 4 counts? Is that official? The Diddy verdict? Let's see. There it is. Yes. Right here, Yahoo News. Sean Diddy Combs, jury reaches verdict on all 5 counts after hours of deliberation. Let's see here. 12-member panel sent a note on Tuesday afternoon informing Judge, okay, that was yesterday's news. We have reached a verdict on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, the note read. We're unable to reach a verdict on count 1. This was yesterday. Let's see. Well, maybe not. Let's see here. 10 minutes ago, jury reaches a verdict on all 5 counts. Let's see.
You sound like Emperor Palpatine.
I do. My little green friend. I'm not seeing that it's guilty yet. Not denying you're reporting. I just haven't seen that it's guilty yet. So it says the jury has reached a verdict, though, on all 5 counts, and I'm sure that verdict will be read shortly. And if Diddy is found guilty, then good. Then let him go to jail. Has anybody heard of Michael Smerconish on CNN? I've seen his articles. I've seen his some of his reporting. I've seen him attempt. I think he's left of center. I think he's far left of center. No, maybe not far left, but he's left of center. He's not one of our friends. However, I've seen him try to play it down the middle at times. And when he's given a fair take, it's a really fair take. And so he was on CNN yesterday talking about everything that Trump has accomplished. And folks, he was brutally honest. So I want to play this clip for you of Michael Smerconish on CNN yesterday, because again, this is reaching an audience that we don't reach, that Fox News doesn't reach, but these left-wing media networks would reach, and this helps us and helps our cause and helps our case for the 2026 midterm. So here is Michael Smerconish on CNN yesterday, essentially praising the job that the Trump administration has done. Look,
President Trump is having a moment. I'm Michael Smerconish in New York City. The first 5 months of Trump 2.0, they're in the books. I'm not shy about voicing my disagreement here with President Trump. We're doing so on radio. Often, whether it's trade, border control, Iran, I find myself agreeing with the goal, but not the approach. But viewed objectively, I have to say that Donald Trump has just had the best week or best 10 days of his second term. I'm still not sure bombing Iran was warranted, but the mission was carried out with stealth and with precision. There were no American casualties. And while Congress is divided after receiving briefings on the extent of the damage, I'm sure that we've derailed Iran's nuclear program, at least temporarily. And there's some valuable deterrent effect for America's adversaries who witnessed last week's exercise. Of course, Trump's initial imposition of tariffs wreaked havoc on American markets back in the spring. But now the markets have rebounded and grown. The S&P 500, NASDAQ hit record highs just yesterday. And it's not just the stock market. Inflation, the great economic fear of recent times, seems to be tamed. The rate is now reported at 2.4%, down from a high of 7% just 4 years ago. Meanwhile, blue-collar workers have seen real wage growth of 1.7% in Trump's first 5 months. This is the largest such increase in nearly 3 generations. And there's the border. Crossings have slowed to a trickle. According to CBP's May update, Southwest border encounters have fallen to about 282 a day, a drop of 93% from last year, and the lowest since the early 1960s. Perhaps the loudest cheering for those border numbers is coming from America's Latino community, which might initially sound counterintuitive. On Thursday, Pew Research released an enormous data analysis of the 2024 election, which contained several surprises. High on that list, President Trump won a bigger percentage of the Latino vote than previously believed. Hillary Clinton had a 38% lead over Trump among Hispanics in 2016. Joe Biden beat Trump in this demo by 25 percentage points. Kamala Harris's margin among these same voters over Trump, just 3 points. Yesterday came a huge decision from the Supreme Court. The High Court declared that federal district judges exceeded their authority when issuing nationwide injunctions against Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship. This will, of course, strengthen executive power both for Trump and for his successors. By any objective measure, President Trump has his opponents on the run.
There you go. And that's Michael Smerconish. And you can't disagree with what he's saying. He obviously says he's disagreed with some of the things that Trump has done, as has just about everybody. He's probably disagreed with more than I've disagreed with. But as Matt Brown pointed out in the chat, Smerconish is a follower. In other words, he goes whichever way the political winds are blowing. And if he's reporting on the accomplishments and the advancing of the political football of the Trump administration favorably, as he had just done, showing you, what Donald Trump has done and what he has achieved in just 5.5 months, it's a good sign for us. And that's why I wanted to play that. All right, we have an update on the Diddy trial, Diddy verdict. Diddy has been found guilty on multiple counts, including count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution, count 5, transportation to engage in prostitution. He was found not guilty. Again, don't shoot the messenger. This is what the jury said. He was found not guilty of racketeering conspiracy. That was count 1. Not guilty on count 2 of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Not guilty on count 4, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. So Diddy found not guilty on the big ones, racketeering conspiracy and the sex trafficking charges, but has been found guilty in this in count 3 and 5, transportation to engage in prostitution, transportation to engage in prostitution, count 3 and count 5. So take that for what it's worth, and we will see what that means for Diddy down the road. But it sounds like he avoided the worst of the charges. So for whatever, for what it's worth, it is what it is, and we shall see, right? I don't know what's true and what's not true. I haven't seen any of the evidence. So I can't comment on whether or not I think the trial was rigged or, not done properly. I know that I think Comey's daughter was one of the prosecutors. I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not going to pick this trial apart just because I don't know, right? If he was not guilty, then the jury did the right thing. Did the jury get it wrong? They very well may have. I'm open to anything. I just don't know. I don't know anything about the trial, so I can't comment one way or the other. All right. On that, we'll move on. The big, beautiful bill. Here is Scott Jennings now on CNN talking about Medicaid and the big, beautiful bill. And this is an important talking point because the Democrats are weaponizing this, saying you're kicking millions of Americans off Medicaid. I don't think that's what's happening. Let's watch Scott Jennings breaking down this talking point and this subject of Medicaid regarding the big, beautiful bill.
Well, I don't think these things are mutually exclusive. I think you can cut taxes or make the tax cuts permanent and add other tax cuts for working class Americans. I think you can do necessary welfare reform. I think you can invest in the southern border and border security, which this bill is doing. And then you can also pay attention to spending. Now, Pete's right. I mean, some of this bill doesn't get to the mandatory spending, and ultimately of the federal budget right now, like 21% of it is discretionary and the rest is just mandatory spending. So you got to tackle that down the road. This isn't a spending bill. It's a reconciliation bill, and it's largely a tax bill that makes the tax cuts permanent, adds tax cuts for working class Americans. On the Medicaid piece, though, there's obviously going to be a big debate about this. I mean, there are like almost 5 million able-bodied people on Medicaid who simply choose not to work. They spend 6 hours a day socializing and watching television. And if you can't get off grandma's couch and work, I don't want to pay for your welfare.
I don't know where you're getting those numbers. CBO says there are 5 million Americans who are sitting on their couch watching television and TV.
Regardless, this kicked 17
that you just cited.
This kicked 17 million people off of.
False.
That 17 million people
so the numbers that we have.
I love Scott Jennings. I think he handles them. If I was a leftist, I would hate that guy, Jennings, because he's snarky.
He's smug.
He's smug, right? And he's definitely somebody who, like a can I say this word?
What?
It's a bug, a chigger, goes under your skin and just hurts. That's Scott Jennings. He's the chigger of CNN. I'm going to get in trouble. even though I shouldn't get in trouble.
No, it's a bug.
It's a bug.
It's a real thing.
It's a parasite, right? He's like a tick, right? That embeds himself. He's that annoying if you're a leftist. Now, if you're someone like me, I watch him going, he's like, CBO, you guys started it, CBO, make your own chart, right? The whole thing. But you see, I think there's a proof of work requirement in the big beautiful bill where if you're going to take Medicaid, you got to show that, that you're either looking for, it's kind of like unemployment. You can't just live off of the government dole your whole life. A lot of people want to do that because this country has become very lazy. There's another provision in the big beautiful bill that we're going to get to in just a second regarding illegals and Medicaid, because there's been a lot of conflicting reporting about this. And I want to tell you what Senator Eric Schmitt is telling you about the illegal aliens and Medicaid, etc. Before we do that, I've got a message from the great Jeremy Harold. You guys want to hear from Jeremy? Jeremy's got a message for us from one of our new sponsors, Pure Health. So I want to play for you this quick video. You may have seen this guy before. I don't know. He's the guy who comes on afterwards, the one who founded LFA TV. This message from Jeremy Harold on behalf of our sponsor, Pure Health. Take a look.
Hey guys, what's going on? I got an incredible offer here for you from Pure Health Research. This is going to blow your mind. Look, I know so many people out there, especially as we get older, we want to drop a few pounds. We lose a little energy. We lose a little testosterone. We lose a little, estrogen. We just lose as we get older. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to gain, and this message is just for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to what? Make America healthy again. They are aligned with Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s mission, and I'm aligned with that. Their two best-selling health supplements right now that are leading the way is the Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans are sluggish because of a liver that is riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on pounds, make you feel tired, all that. Liver Health Formula will take care of that. It supports your liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down. Next is the lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, been there, done that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this one's going to be for you. The natural ingredient in the lymph system formula helps gently flush extra fluids and toxins out of the body. Right now, you can get a limited time offer, 35% off right now. 35% off by going to purehealthresearch.com and using promo code LFA. That's Pure Health Research right now. Use promo code LFA and you'll get 35% off targeted products. I need something for this. I need something for that. They got it. And I want you to check out the reviews online. They are through the roof. purehealthresearch.com. Promo code LFA.
PureHealthResearch.com, promo code LFA. Thank you, Jeremy, and thank you to Pure Health for being part of the show and a sponsor of the show and a big part of LFA TV. We greatly appreciate their sponsorship and their their generosity there. It's great that we can bring on sponsors like that and bring these products too. And that's why when we look at different sponsors and whatnot, I like to look at those who could really help the audience, what fits the most. That's why, I don't want to sell you crap, right? I don't want to tell you all about buying things that necessarily won't help you. It's why I love my Patriot Supply. It's why I love Silent, one of our sponsors as well, Patriot Mobile, that whole parallel economy and useful products. Now, some of them are, some of the products and some of the things out there, a little pricey, but you do get what you pay for. I know a lot of people specifically regarding one of our sponsors, Armra. Armra is not necessarily the cheapest thing, but I've heard from so many people that they love it. Dylan in Iowa loves it. I know Bad Moon said he loved it. Who was it? Was it Freedom last year or somebody over in McGroinstock told us they love their Armra colostrum? Yeah. So I'm thinking about taking it myself at some point. My hair's falling out.
Mine is too.
All right. By the way, my hair fell out so much I don't have any left. For those of you who noticed, I'm bald now. Anyway, we have the illegal aliens, Medicaid, that whole snafu and conflicting reporting that's going on. Also, Kristi Noem, talking about this illegal alien that was eating himself. Did you hear about this?
No.
Okay. Might have been the guy who ate Uncle Brosy. I don't know.
Yikes.
We're also going to get to what the University of Pennsylvania did. They surrendered to Donald Trump. UPENN. For those of you who remember the Leah Thomas situation, UPENN surrendered to Donald Trump. Before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about our friends over at Silent. It's SLNT, SLNT.com/Sean, SHAWN, silent.com/Sean, SHAWN. Folks, whether it is the government, big tech, corporate America, and criminals out there, your privacy is compromised 24/7. There's no other option. You have to protect yourself, and that starts right here, right now, with Silent. Silent offers these Faraday products. They block all incoming and outgoing signals so that your devices are invisible and safe from the outside world. From their backpacks, nice. You see the gentleman in there wearing a backpack, right? Phone sleeves. They even have Faraday pants. Their patented signal blocking technology blocks wireless signals, giving you peace of mind that your data doesn't end up in the wrong hands. This stops incoming and outgoing signals, right? So it'll stop any incoming and outgoing signals. It stops any radiation that comes off of these things. There's a lot of radiation that these phones throw off. Those Faraday bags, Faraday pants, phone sleeves, blocks all of that as well. Also stops your devices from being tracked and hacked when you're out in public. You can go silent today. Safeguard yourself from unauthorized access and be invisible out there in the general public, in Gen Pop of society, right? Go silent today at slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, to save 15% and free shipping on qualifying orders. That is Silent, slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, Silent, slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, for 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. Illegals and Medicaid. What have we heard about the illegal aliens and Medicaid? There's been a lot of conflicting reporting out there. Did the Senate vote to keep illegal aliens on Medicaid? Was it just a misunderstanding? What did the parliamentarian do? There's been a lot of reporting on this, and I would like to set the record straight on what happened, or at least, you know what? Because I don't trust 100% of what politicians say, but I do trust this Senator Eric Schmitt. He's been fairly reliable. He's been credible, and I think he's trustworthy. So let's get to this. What does the big, beautiful bill say about Medicaid for illegal immigrants? Okay, this is, I think, a very important segment and very important information to kind of bring some clarity to this subject, okay? The backstory here is that the federal government has not agreed to directly fund Medicaid for illegal immigrants anywhere, okay? But some states have rolled out versions of Medicaid, like California, which cover some illegal immigrants using state funds. California, as I said, has expanded medical to cover all immigrants who meet the income threshold. However, the expansion has cost the state a lot of money, which is creating a big budget gap in California. And in the newly announced budget in California, Newsom cut off enrollment in the program and required the illegals that were on there who have already enrolled to start paying a monthly premium. What was happening, though, in some of these states is that they were asking for federal money to essentially reimburse the states for the money that was being used up by illegal aliens, which essentially indirectly funds Medicaid for illegal aliens, right? There had been a lot of concern that a lot of this would happen. The states would not be able to cover the shortfall. They wouldn't be allowed to ask for that money back, okay? So one section of the big, beautiful bill was intended to cut out the reimbursement for states that chose to use their own money to fund coverage for illegal immigrants. Basically, this was your decision at the state level. If you don't have enough money to make ends meet, that's not on the federal government to bail you out because you made a dumb decision, right? Now, the cuts, which if they were approved by the Senate, would pose a tricky political and economic hurdle for the states and D.C., which use their own funds to provide health insurance to some people in the United States without authorization. Those states would see their federal reimbursement for people covered under the Affordable Care Act's Medicaid expansion cut by 10%. The cuts would cost California, the state with the most to lose, as much as $3 billion per year. It's this simple. Don't give illegal aliens Medicaid in your state, and you don't have this problem. You don't have this problem. Now, that portion of the bill was ripped out last week by the Senate parliamentarian, which everybody had a big problem with. Elizabeth McDonough determined that some of the mega bill's Medicaid provisions, including changes to federal funding for U.S. states' share of healthcare provider taxes, were not eligible for approval via the simple majority gambit known as reconciliation. However, and that sounds bad, right? Oh my gosh, we're still going to be funding it. We're still going to be basically subsidizing Medicaid for illegals. However, Senator Eric Schmitt says that there is still a section of the bill limiting eligibility for illegal aliens. Let's get to Senator Eric Schmitt's thread that he put up on X yesterday. The big, beautiful bill. This is from Senator Eric Schmitt at Sen Eric Schmitt, SCHMITT, who I think he follows me, or at least he used to. Or maybe it was a different, it's maybe on his personal account. On his personal account, he follows me. The big, beautiful bill kicks 1.4 million illegal immigrants off of Medicaid. For too long, Americans have been paying for the welfare of people who shouldn't even be in our country. Today, the Senate, this was yesterday, voted to end that. And yes, this did make it into the final draft of the bill. Yesterday, there were a lot of rumors floating around that the ban on Medicaid for illegal aliens being stripped from the bill was gone. Thankfully, that's not true. It is in the bill. It is in the bill, page 602, section 77109. The rumor came from that whole thing with the parliamentarian, circulated a vote, took it to mean that the provision hadn't been stripped from the bill altogether. But it was just one of many messaging amendments. Basically, the wording was incorrect. In this case, a ban on some Medicaid funding for illegal aliens who commit heinous crimes on the record. It was meant to show the public how radical the Democrats were. The ban itself was already in the bill. It was never taken out. And it wasn't just a ban on some Medicaid for illegal immigrants who commit heinous crimes. It applies to all Medicaid for all illegal immigrants and most non-citizens generally. The bill that was passed in the Senate actually goes much further. Beyond banning Medicaid for 1.4 million illegal aliens, it also requires states to verify citizenship status before providing coverage. It bans automatic Medicaid enrollment for children of illegals, and it excludes DACA from Medicaid. According to the CBO, which everyone loves to cite, Scott Jennings said that roughly 1.4 million illegal immigrants are currently on Medicaid, despite the fact that they don't meet federal enrollment requirements because blue states have expanded their federally funded Medicaid programs to include them. All right? The big, beautiful bill ends that arrangement by restricting Medicaid eligibility. According to the official data from the CBO, that kicks a whopping 1.4 million illegal immigrants off of Medicaid. So essentially, the provision that went viral where everyone's like, oh my gosh, we're not kicking illegals off, this is terrible, didn't matter because that's what's still included in the bill is requirements that will forbid states and prohibit states from putting these illegals on Medicaid anyway. And so that is important to note. And hopefully we understand that. As I can't go over it again. My throat is killing me. And I'm having a very tough time. My little green friend.
Well, Jason King has a good point. He said, I'm not paying to change a taco to a taquito.
Not paying to change it. Oh.
That's funny.
Jason. Jason. That's funny. All right. How about Kristi Noem? You hear about this story?
Tell me.
Kristi Noem says illegal immigrant cannibal started eating himself on a deportation flight. That sound like somebody you want to keep in our country? For the Democrats, they're like, yeah, let's go have a margarita with him. We'll go have a margarita with this guy. All right. Kristi Noem says an illegal alien was actually eating himself. Let's see what she means by this. Because that sounds kind of crazy. Noem stated that the incident serves as an example of how former Democrat President Joe Biden let the worst of the worst into our country. Kristi Noem says a cannibal who had been detained on a plane started to eat himself after he was put on the plane. As a matter of fact, we have the clip over on X, and I will play this for you. All right, I will play this for you. This is interesting stuff. You guys ready? Yes. Here we go.
500% by thanking our ICE officers and our Border Patrol officers for what they do every day. They are out on the streets, and violence against them has increased over 500% since Trump has gone back into the White House because he's upholding the law and because a bunch of liberals, socialists, and Marxists are out there lying about what President Trump is doing. President Trump is upholding freedom by what he is doing. The freedom to live safely in this country and to do things legally and to have justice. And because those liberals, and I'm calling out you, CNN, I'm calling you out because you lie every single day about what these operations are. We are going after murderers and rapists and traffickers and drug dealers and getting them off the streets and getting them out of this country because Joe Biden let the worst of the worst come in here. The other day I was talking to some marshals that have been partnering with ICE. They said that they had detained a cannibal and put him on a plane to take him home. And while they had him in his seat, he started to eat himself. And they had to get him off and get him medical attention. These are the kind of deranged individuals that are on our streets in America that we're trying to target and get out of our country because they are so deranged they don't belong here. And they don't.
How crazy is that? How crazy is so an illegal alien cannibal, according to U.S. Marshals, was on a plane, and in order to protest his deportation, started to eat himself. Noem stated the incident serves an example of how former Democrat President Joe Biden let the worst of the worst into the country. This is not a person that I don't think anybody wants in their communities. Of course, the left never gets these people in their communities. That's why they don't care. Okay. But you talking about a cannibal? Is this the guy? Hey, listen, man. This is the guy who ate my Uncle Brosy. Uncle Brosy got eaten by cannibals, man. You lying, dog-faced cannibal pony soldier. Tired of subsidizing crap like that. Get him out of our country. Or, you know what? Since he's a cannibal, I really don't feel like he should have any rights. Feed him to the alligators at Alligator Alcatraz. USAID officially gone. How about this? This is nice. This is a nice accomplishment by the Trump administration. Of course, you got people crying, oh my goodness, people are going to go hungry in Africa. Guess whose problem that isn't? Ours, because people are hungry in our own country. I don't care what's going on in Africa, except I bless the rains in Africa. We did very well. It's going to take a lot to drag me away from you, right? Think about it. I bless the rains in Africa. Crooked Joe. No, he didn't do that. The only thing living well with the executives of countless NGOs, according to Marco Rubio, who often enjoyed five-star lifestyles funded by the American taxpayer, while those they purported to help fell further behind. As of July 1st, USAID will officially cease to implement foreign assistance, according to Marco Rubio. Foreign assistance programs that align with administration policies and which advance American interests will be administered by the State Department, where they will be delivered with more accountability, strategy, and efficiency. So, RIP to USAID. I don't think anybody is upset with that either. Love that. And look, as far as foreign aid goes, I like $0.00 of foreign aid. However, that is not practical at this time, right? We should get as close to zero as possible. Speaking of zero, how about these numbers from Border Patrol? Total Border Patrol encounters for the entire month of 2026 was 6,070. How about that? For the entire month of June 2026. But zero illegal aliens. Of those 6,070, zero were released into the country. How about that? That sound nice? Sound perfect? Sounds perfect to me. Sounds perfect to me. All right, I want to play for you this clip from Candace. A, to give my voice a break. But B, because I have to highlight how crazy she is. The Russia-Ukraine war. It's not fought over Russia or Ukraine. It's being fought over Candace Owens, believe it or not. And she claims to have heard from, the president over this, Trump. To those of you who are like, did Sean Farish prank her? No. I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to be exposed to whatever virus she has. No, I didn't prank her. According to Candace Owens, you tell me if these sound like the thoughts of a sane person.
When I call that person back, they tell me something that is even stranger. They say, look, I again am the messenger here. What I was told from somebody that's pretty high up at the White House is that Emmanuel Macron is holding up negotiations to end the Russian and Ukrainian war unless you stop speaking about his wife. And I'm just going, what? What are you saying? What are we even speaking about? What do you mean negotiations between Russia and Ukraine? I'm just like, looking into a story at my house. I've got a very small team here, and you're telling me that somehow negotiations are being held up and it needs to be communicated to me that I got to stop talking about Brigitte? What are we saying? And then I'm asking myself in my mind, because I hang up this phone and I am in true shock. Did Emmanuel Macron pretend to fly into D.C. under the guise of negotiations, the Russia and Ukraine war, and then instruct someone on his entourage to have an off-the-books discussion, a little meeting on the side, maybe somebody, again, like a Susie Wiles, where he made his truer demands? Like, hey, this is for the pictures. Me and Trump are talking about you. We're going to get it done. And then what really goes on behind the scenes is like, we're not doing anything until that little podcaster, Candace, agrees to shut her mouth. What? This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. Okay. So we ended the conversation. I say, I'm going to sleep on this. It's a lot to process. I remember I get into bed and I just turn to my husband and I say, no one will ever believe us. Just something that just arrived at me very suddenly. I said, no one will ever believe that this just took place. And my husband's like, yeah, no, this is just very, very strange. And I promised the individual that I would pray on it, that I would think further about the situation. What are the implications here? And I then call him back the next day and I say, look, this is pretty weird. You have to admit this is pretty weird. And you're not really giving me any details. And I kind of want to know who specifically you spoke to, because I think it kind of matters. Is somebody trying to do a side deal while Trump is doing a different deal? And at that moment, he's honest and he says, no, President Trump was on the phone too. And I go, oh, are you kidding me? You didn't tell me this yesterday? That there was some sort of a conference call and President Trump is on the line? You didn't mention it. I go, did you lie to me yesterday? Were you trying to pretend that it was like a third party person? And he says, no, I didn't lie to you. I didn't lie to you. Like, I got a phone call and I obviously in the background, Trump communicated something to me. So he was there when the phone call took place. And I'm going, what the heck is going on? Literally, what is happening right now?
There is zero chance that this is true. None. There is, I mean, guys, you know the meme, like, I'll take things that didn't happen for $500. I will take things that didn't happen for $4 million, Alex. So you're going to tell me, let me get this straight, that if Candace Owens would stop talking about Emmanuel Macron's wife, the war in Ukraine would stop. How the hell? How on earth do we even get there? Right? It's like the thought that if I don't drive to the grocery store in 5 minutes, it won't rain. Cause, effect, what? It's just, okay. So there's people who are like, she's right all the time. Defend that.
Freedom for McGowan's right. She says now when it stops, she'll take credit.
Yeah, and you're right. Now when the war stops, she'll be like, well, 2 weeks ago, I stopped talking about Macron's wife, and I stopped the war. Oh, that's right. Candace Owens is actually the president of the United States. I am so happy. There were a lot of people who were like, she should be the vice president. I was like, I don't know about that. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Who would you rather have as vice president? Candace Owens or J.D. Vance? I'm pretty sure we'd like J.D. Vance.
Yes.
Yeah, think so.
Yeah, she's gotten awfully twitchy.
Because J.D. Vance isn't one of these people, right? Where Candace Owens, it's always hey, at least she didn't say that the Russia-Ukraine war is being fought over the Jews. So that's a step in the right direction. All right, quick word from our friends at Patriot Mobile. We love Patriot Mobile. PatriotMobile.com. PatriotMobile.com /Farish. F-A-R-A-S-H. PatriotMobile.com /Farish. Folks, this is America's largest Christian conservative wireless carrier. There are a lot of choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service. And now there are new ones popping up all over the place all the time. But here's the truth. The only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for is Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 of the main networks. Don't just take my word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've made the switch and are now supporting causes that they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier than it's ever been. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Very easy. Go to patriotmobile.com/FARASH. You get to keep your number. You get to keep your phone. You can even upgrade your phone when you switch to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile's all U.S.-based support team. How huge is that? They're all in the United States. No more. My name is Mark Johnson. No, it's not. Patriot Mobile, all U.S.-based support team, is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today. Or go to patriotmobile.com/Farish. That's Foxtrot, Alpha, Romeo, Alpha, Sierra, Hotel. patriotmobile.com/Farish for a free month of service if you switch to Patriot Mobile today. patriotmobile.com/Farish or 972-PATRIOT. Make the switch today. Make the switch today. Next up, our friends at Armra Colostrum. It's tryarmra.com/LFA TV, tryarmra.com/LFA TV. This is Armra Colostrum. Colostrum is one of the first nutrition we receive in life, contains all the essential nutrients our bodies need in order to thrive, and it can absolutely help you. It can help you reactivate your hair growth. It can help you stimulate stem cell research, fortify your gut health and metabolism, and fuel your fitness, performance, and recovery. You can harness the close-guarded secret of elite athletes, long prized for its unrivaled ability to take performance to its apex. Tryarmra.com/LFA TV. Colostrum has been shown in research to help enhance nutrient absorption, promote lean muscle building, and improve endurance while fueling cellular repair regeneration for faster recovery. Specifically, colostrum has been shown to improve fitness endurance by 20%, decrease recovery time by over 50% after intense exercise, improve stamina, and specifically build lean muscle mass. Check it out at tryarmra.com/LFA TV. That's tryarmra.com/LFA TV for 15% off of your first order. Tryarmra.com/LFA TV. All right. The University of Pennsylvania. This is a big story. It's a great story. And it's got to feel good to be, well, I don't want to say good, but it's gonna help these women who were victims of this insanity. Maybe closure's the word. I don't know. None of them are ever going to be made whole like J6 families, but this will help at least a little bit. The Trump administration has dealt a severe blow to the radical left's trans lobby while securing a massive win for fair play. On Tuesday, the University of Pennsylvania bent the knee to Trump by agreeing to resolve Title IX violations over transgender swimmer Leah, formerly known as William Thomas. The penalties are particularly harsh for Thomas, who stole glory from female swimmers by pretending to be one of them. The school, UPENN, not only agreed to erase Thomas's records from the books, but also awarded victories to the swimmers whose glory he had stolen. So in other words, University of Pennsylvania, by doing so, admitted that this was a dude in the swimming pool after years of saying they made the right choice. Crazy is that. They're also being forced to publicly apologize. Now, is the apology meaningful because it's forced? Well, it's meaningful in that they're coming out and doing it. It's humiliating for the school to have to do this in the court of public opinion. The school not only agreed to erase Thomas's record books, also awarded victories to swimmers whose glory he'd stolen. Moreover, each impacted swimmer will receive a formal apology from the University of Pennsylvania. But that's not where it ends. UPENN must adopt biology-based definitions for male and female consistent with Trump's executive orders. Quote, defending women from gender ideology extremism, end quote, keeping men out of women's sports. Under the terms of the Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports EO, the stated policy is to, quote, oppose male competitive participation in women's sports more broadly as a matter of safety, fairness, dignity, and truth. The Defending Women from Gender Ideology Extremism EO directs the Department of Education to enforce Title IX based on biological sex, threatening to withhold federal funding from educational institutions that allow transgender women, biological men, to compete in women's sports. If the Department of Education is dismantled, other agencies will take over. UPENN must also ban men from participating in women's sporting activities and from occupying female athletic facilities such as locker rooms. This means no more men undressing themselves in front of unsuspecting women. Okay? So the University of Pennsylvania, their formal apology, you could say, oh, well, it's not meaningful because it's forced. But they still have to do it, and they still have to concede a whole heck of a lot going forward. So I think this is a big win for sanity, a big win for truth, and certainly nice to see one of these institutions that refused to bend the knee finally do so and bend the knee. All right, folks, hit that thumbs up button for us as we head out for the day. I will be on with Michael Patrick Leahy somehow. I don't know if I'm going to whisper into his microphone, but we're going to do something on his on the Tennessee Bonus Hour. You can follow him at Michael P. Leahy, Leahy, Tennessee Star Report, the Michael Patrick Leahy Show from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Time. So it's coming up in about an hour. So we're going to be doing that. Before we go, folks, remember, as Jeremy Harrell is getting ready to come on next, to check out the LFA TV store, lfatv.us. Click on the store tab. Click on the visit the store option so you can see everything that there is to offer at the LFA TV store. So much stuff here to offer, folks. It would be great for you to go ahead, grab some of this LFA TV merch, and celebrate summer in style with this patriotic LFA TV merch at lfatv.us or jeremyharrell.com/store. Jeremy Harrell is coming up next here on LFA TV for the next couple of hours, the next 2 hours on LFA TV with Live from America. As President Trump would say, we will never give up, we will never give in, and we will never, ever surrender. And if all else fails, we will just become ungovernable. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I hope you have a tremendous rest of your day. We're going to be on with Misfit later tonight. 4th of July is in a couple days. I'm on 1210 WPHT, of course, then as well for the first 4 hours, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Have a tremendous rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place, rumble.com/LFATV. In the words of John Fetterman, the potential next Pope of Greenland, but probably not. Bang gavel. Good night, everybody. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. And as President Trump, of course, himself says, what does he say? To conclude all of his posts on Truth Social now, which everyone seems to think is hilarious. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back here tomorrow morning.